Howdy, people of Earth. Today we are going to take a look at a YouTuber by the name of Paul Cook, who seems to be doing well, and he is also possibly a resident of my own town of Hastings. I'm not sure, but he's made this video about the castle in Hastings, and I will mute the sound, but you can go and check out his video, go check out his channel. Now there's basically this urban legend in Hastings that the castle sits on some kind of more ancient site, which he reckons is a star fort, but I don't see any evidence of that personally, so I'm just gonna play a little bit of his video and then we'll go through and possibly debunk a bit of what he's saying here, because I don't necessarily agree. He thinks this archway here is similar to the kind of thing that you see in Malta, which he's about to show you. This is his video of Malta, I think. Hopefully he won't mind me using this. I'll just pause it here so that it's at least a little bit transformative what I'm doing to this, so he can't say I'm stealing his content. Thank you, Paul. So yeah, this is Malta, and you can see there's these odd passageways cut into the rock, which may have been for some kind of antiquitech, some kind of electrical conduit possibly, or it could just be for some kind of ancient drain pipe, you know. And no one really knows exactly when these sites in Malta were constructed, but they are very ancient, we believe. Yeah, this is the Malta arch inside of a star fort in Malta, I think. And I don't know when this was constructed or what it was supposed to be for. Malta actually has several of these forts, but they're also found in the Americas, where they're usually attributed to being constructed in the colonial era, which is frankly ridiculous. Go check out star forts. Basically just punch it into YouTube or Google, you get some very interesting hits. John Levi talks about them a lot. Another interesting channel worth a follow, although I don't always agree with his conclusions. And the structure is just unbelievably old. It seems to have been cut out of a piece of solid rock, but I'm not sure if it's just so old that the stones it's made out of are just kind of turning back into some kind of solid lump. So what this would have actually been for is highly mysterious, but this fellow Paul Cook thinks that he has found something similar here in Hastings, so let's have a little look, shall we? And here is what we see in Hastings, which looks like it could be a tunnel, but I've actually gone and investigated this myself, and I think it's just repairs shoring up the cliff face, guys, although it does not 100% make sense. I'll give you this. Why you would try to hold up that amount of rock on top of the cliff by piling bricks up in front of it, but I think it's probably been done to stop chips of rock falling off and possibly hitting people walking below or hitting their cars in the car park as it is now. This is a weird picture. This appears to be a doorway cut into the rock wall, and then bricked over again. See how regular that shape is where the red bricks are. Very weird, but clearly something done in Victorian times or later, we would assume. And again, no great regularity to these rocks, even where they do kind of look like there could be seams between the rocks that do look regular. I'm thinking this is where people have tried to shape it somehow, rather than these actually being cut rocks that have been piled up. But again, very hard to tell without being a geologist what's actually going on here. And just as I was about to say that this debunks Paul Cook's ideas about this site completely, I remember these pictures that I took of some very mysterious rocks on top of the hill near the castle, which almost do look like some kind of melted structure to me, and far too far gone now to say with any certainty what this would have looked like going back into geological time. There, the castle standing in the background, but underneath, where the topsoil has been worn away by people walking up the hill overlooking the town here, there is what appears to be some kind of regular brick sticking out, which I really can't get my head around this. But please, anyone tell me what you think. Is this geological, or is this actually some kind of buried ruins here? Because I just don't know. And this one I actually don't want to debunk, because I actually agree with what he's saying, or at least with the possibility. So Paul's argument here is that Hastings Castle has just been created here later than they say, to possibly cover up or distract you from something, or possibly just to create a tourist attraction. And although I don't agree that this site is a pyramid or anything of that nature, the idea that someone might create a castle just as a kind of folly or tourist site and fake the history of it essentially is not as ridiculous as it might first sound. Now let's take a look at another video.
It was built in 1912 and is actually a scale replica of the real Liverpool castle that was built in 1237.
And this is Liverpool Castle, which is not in Liverpool.
The original Liverpool castle was indeed situated in Liverpool, but it was demolished in 1726 and is now a shopping centre. The replica was commissioned by William Lever, founder of a company called the Lever Brothers, who would go on to become the massive corporation Unilever. The castle is actually a folly, and it was never intended to be finished. William Lever wanted it to look like a ruined castle, but even then he had intended on building a little bit more than what we see today. Sadly, Lever's death in 1925 meant all works on the castle was halted, and it's sat like this ever since.
And if William Lever had not died, would they have in fact attempted to pass this off as a real ruined historical castle? So there we go. How much of our history can we really trust? And once again, I don't necessarily have any strong beliefs about this myself. I only have questions, and that is what I will be writing about in a future upcoming book that I'm working on at the moment. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will be seeing you